Hello and welcome to the Magic League wrap-up. If you're not familiar with this and you haven't seen my other videos before, what this is I will play a match of Magic Gathering and then I will play that unrecorded. Then after that I will go in and use the Magic Online history feature to replay that match. I'll cut out all the waiting on opponents to make decisions, all the slow, everything, and it should go a really much faster wrap-up version of the match. And I'll do that for all 5 matches of the league, and then I'll do a post-game wrap-up of the league as a whole. This league I'm going to be playing Amulet Titan. I'm trying Mystic Reflection in the deck, which can be both an offensive or defensive card, turning their planeswalkers or creatures into plant tokens that I made with Garden, or turning my plant tokens into Titans. It seems like it could potentially just be a win more when trying to use it as an offensive, but it's also got the defensive turning their things into plants. So I've tried a few leagues so far, it's been doing pretty well. And then also I have the Karn package with the Karn sideboard. With using Field of the Dead, I am now back on the Care Keep. It's not as good as Field of the Dead, not even close, but it's the next best thing as far as a continuous token generator. And with that, let's get on to the first match. Game 1, match 1, I lost a die roll, so I'm on the draw. This hand's very questionable. It really needs a bounce land to make it a turn 2 win, which is really worth keeping. If I don't get the bounce land, it's still not too bad. I still got Azusa that can cast on turn 3, so it's worth the risk of a turn 2 win. Opponent leads off with a gut shot to trigger his light up the stage. Draw another pact. Not exactly what I want to draw here. And it looks like my opponent's on this blue-red Prowler deck that is seeing a lot of play. Like every other game has been this deck. It's really powerful, really fast. Manamorphose into Manamorphose into 2 creatures. Just not the best start for them. I mean, they would rather have the creatures out before the Manamorphoses, but it's still not a bad turn 2. I draw into another Amulet, so because I have this Blast Zone and he's got 2 1-drops, I'm going to hold these Amulets back. There's no reason to play them out right now. If I draw the bounce land, I can still play it, and I can still, basically with 3 Amulets, have infinite mana, get all the Titans, overkill, so just hold it all back. He plays another Mage, which is going to make this Blast Zone good, especially if I can draw a bounce land here. Then, nope, no bounce land. It's another land that doesn't help me. So, play the Azusa, it's going to be a blocker, get out 1 more lands. Still just waiting on that bounce land to really win the game here. They gut shot me, get a bunch of Prowess triggers. I chump block here, soak up a little bit of damage. I don't have any lands to drop, so I don't really need the Azusa. And I really just want to live until I can draw the bounce land, so I can win the game. That's unfortunate, because that lives through the Blast Zone. And still not a bounce. And I can't play it, because then I can't use this Blast. So I gotta hold it back. We attack in. I wait for them to cast their spell, and then I'll go and sacrifice this Blast Zone. Even my Gemstone now only has 1 more time I get to tap it. And they have the Lava Dart, which means they get to play it, flash it back, and get all those triggers, and then exactly 6. So extremely fast, extremely aggressive, versatile deck. It's, yeah, just burns to the face and swings with cheap creatures. Really need a much better, faster, aggressive start. If I had the bounce land, that would have been a fast enough start, but I did not get to see it. So going on to game 2. Onto game 2, I sideboarded out the Mystic Reflections. They're just going to burn whatever I try to target, which is going to be really bad value for me. I put in the Rurik Thar so they can take 6 damage when they cast all their spells. And I put in the Abrade to try to hit their creatures before they make them big. So I'm on the play this time. Decent, okay starter hand here. Still missing the bounce land, but I got an early blocker. I'm going to go and lead out on the blocker just in case they get the 1/1 haster. I can soak up some damage or make them use a gut shot to trade for my 1-drop. Alright, they didn't have the haster. I draw another basic. I'm playing the Bajuka Bog just in case they do deal with the Amulet. I want to make sure I get my card on turn 4. So I play the tap land to get the Amulet trigger while I have the Amulet. We get Metamorphose. To Metamorphose. Really good start for them. Turn 1. I think about blocking here, but I would rather save this to block the Karin. It's only 3 damage now, it might be more later. I draw another non-bounce land. With Karin, I don't have a whole lot of good targets here, so I set up for the bridge. Bridge isn't that great in this match, especially with me having this many cards and no red mana to play this Braid. Like, I really need to draw red mana to get this Braid out of my hand, kill their mage, and make their flyer not be able to attack. They just cast a bunch of cheap free spells to draw more free spells, get a bunch of triggers, and they swing in all at me. I try to conserve my life here. I just blocked the big 5. It might have been right to block one of the other 2 and just let him live, save more blockers later. Finally drew a bounce lands, but now I actually don't want one because bridge I'm trying to empty cards from my hand, so when I finally don't want a bounce land, I draw a bounce land. Here I just want a blocker that's going to gain me some life. A lot of choices on which land to get, but I just go with the trying to gain life, and I get the Fountain. Maybe should have grabbed the red. I don't know, maybe the red would have been better, because, as I said, getting that Braid out of my hands, emptying the cards, that 2 life doesn't really matter that much. They attack in with the flyers. One this time does go out to Karin, take him off the board. And then I draw another bounce land that doesn't produce red. So really unfortunate. I go ahead and just get the bridge out. Not that actually is going to stop anything because I go back up to 3 once I bounce my lands. Had I got the red, I would have been able to braid one of their smaller creatures, probably one of the Soul Scar mages, and been down to 2 cards, which means their entity wouldn't have been able to attack, and I still would have been at 10 rather than 12, which is still a good life total. So maybe it was a mistake, maybe I should have got to red, especially seeing how this plays out here, because he just swings with everything. I only can block that, and then they get the growth, and then they end up gusting just to... Which I guess if they did have the gust, they could have gusted the abrade. So, I don't know. Maybe I still would have not won. I mean, I still would have to try to draw some kind of threat or something here to actually close out the game before he just burns me. But yeah, he ends up getting it for lethal, getting the match 2-0. Alright, on to match 2, game 1. An okay starter hands, just need more lands, but it's worth keeping. They start with Radiant Fountain, most likely that's Samir. Yep, it's Samir. Alright, explore, Amulet a little late, but drop it here on this turn. They go and kill the Amulet, explosives on 1. So I could drop the Cavern and get the Karn here, but I would rather Karn and play the Coding in the same turn. So I'm actually going to play the Dryad here, and play both the bounce lands, since he killed my Amulet. Just go and get both of those out. So next turn I'm going to have 6 mana to either play a top deck Titan or play this Karn plus Liquid Metal Coating. He gets a bunch of mana set up for himself. He also has 6 mana, so I'm going to play the Titan or play the Karn because I didn't draw the Titan. Get the Coating, and then I'm not going to be able to destroy his land this turn, but I'm going to stop during his upkeep. I'm going to make sure to turn on upkeep stop there. That way that before he even gets a chance to draw, I can turn his land into an artifact, and then that leaves him with only 4 mana, with only 1 card in hand, so he can't possibly Titan next turn. And then, yeah, he realizes this is a downhill slope, and concedes game 1. On to game 2 of the mirror. I took out the Graziers. They don't really block much. They are good ramp, but it's really tough to decide what else to take out. And I took out one Cavern, or took out the Cavern, in just place of Beast Within, Abrade, and Wreck Sage. Just ways to kill his Amulet. Opening hand is bad. It's got only 2 lands, no ramp, just overall bad hand. Mulling that down. This is a better hand. Put the Pact on bottom. Titan's just better when you already have the Dryad Pact. He leads on the Ghost Quarter. I mess up here. I probably shouldn't have copied his Ghost Quarter. I should have just let on the Forest. Because now he plays this Root Farm, and yeah, I much would have rather have copied his Root Farm. Now I could Ghost Quarter him just to try to set him back, but I'd rather try to progress my own state, and I just go and explore here, wishing I had that root farm to help me with my mana, but just playing the fountain. He gets a Dryad, and then I get the Karn, and tough decision here to either get the Coding or the Crucible of the Worlds, because he has a Ghost Quarter, so getting the Crucible, and I have a copy of his Ghost Quarter, so getting the Crucible, I could start hitting his lands and playing back the Ghost Quarter from my graveyard until he Ghost Quarters and forces me to destroy one of my lands, in which case I just replay it. So, or the Coding and just try to start hitting his lands. So I go by the mana cost of next turn. Hopefully I can draw lands, and I can Dryad and Coding. So I go ahead and get the Coding. Takes Karn down to 1. And then he does my plan. With the Excavator, he starts hitting my lands. Really making me wish that I would have got the Crucible. I don't know that Crucible was a better choice because I didn't know he was going to play this. But in hindsight, knowing now that he played that, Crucible definitely would have been much better here. So I hope to get Karn up so now I can still grab Crucible. Can't minus it this turn, so just playing a couple of blockers. That's going to keep him alive until next turn. He explores, which is really unfortunate because he got to hit, and I'm out of forest, so now he just has a wasteland, and he gets to hit 3 of my lands. That Explorer really gave him that 1 extra land drop, which prevented me from getting the Crucible. But if I draw a untapped land, I can still get Crucible, and then I can start playing some of these from my graveyard, and we can just both keep playing lands from our graveyard, and just kind of have it whoever, and I have the second Dryad, so hopefully I can play more lands than he can. I go and block here to live the Karn, so I can draw a land and play Crucible, and try to see who can play more lands. I draw, come and play tap land, so here I have to just get this Crypts to get rid of that Ghost Quarter, play my lands. I play the Coding just in case I draw a Karn. Well, I draw another land than a Karn, and there's no reason to hold it. He plays the second Dryad and bounce lands. He sends in with the Grazier to send the message. I get it. Yeah, I got a couple of blockers here. And then he's got the Titan, so he's going to get pretty much just kill me with Valka triggers. He can't give it haste, but he doesn't need haste. He just grabs Valkuts. He's got 3 land triggers, so, or he can play 3 lands, so that's, if it's not lethal, it's close enough to lethal, so he got game 2. Game 3 of the match, I'm on the play since I lost that last one. It's a good starting hands. A lot of lands, a lot of ramp, and a summon respect, so everything I need. Start with the come play tap land. He's got the turn 1 Amulet, which is much better than my turn 1. explore into another pact. Not exactly what I want to be drawing right now. I already got my pact. And he takes forever on his turn. As you can see, his clock getting much lower than mine. As he gets his Dryad and taps, yeah, does good things with Amulet. I get my Dryad a lot less good since I don't have Amulet. I consider playing this Sanction to set myself up for Titan next turn, but I want to keep this Mystic Reflection up because he's presenting Titan mana, so I want to be able to stop his Titan. And then does more things with all of his lands, just really slowly. And then he has a Titan, so go and Mystic Reflection that. But he also has the Pact, which is super unfortunate, because now he gets Titan, takes a 5-minute long turn, as he gives Titan haste, searches up lands, puts abilities on stack. Block here, moving out to 4, and then he's got the Pact for the other Dryad, and then 3 more triggers. So he got it. He had the Pact of Negation. The one of in the deck, he had it for the Mystic Reflection. So it happens. Unfortunate. 0-2 so far. On to match 3. Almost a die roll, so on the play. Good starting hands. A lot of ways to put lands into play. Okay, I'm out of lands. And again, very popular blue-red deck. Deal with the Vestige. I want to put in this Radiant Fountain so I can bounce it later with Simic Growth. I need to put in a green mana so I can actually play the rest of my hand. So I need to play the Simic Growth now. That way next turn I can play my green spells. And Vestige isn't a bad thing to bounce because I'll get to get more green mana to play both my green spells. Nether Grazer, not exactly what I want to see. Mystic Reflections, again, not really want to see, especially in this match. But I'll ramp some lands out. Now I have no more lands to play, with another Grazer still left. Alright. They could have a trick. I mean, I'm going to block and make them have to have it. Yep, they have it. Alright, that's a good draw. So get Current out. And I could minus the Current. So I tapped my mana wrong here. I had thought to minus the Current to grab Liquid Coating and then play the Vesuva, copying the Vestige. That way I can play the Coating this turn and I can hit one of his lands. But if I do that, even with hitting his land, he can play an instant, kill my Karn, and then I just have a Coating that doesn't do anything without Karn. So I changed my mind on that plan, And I still get the coding, but I don't stress on getting it out this turn. I set myself up to try to get double green mana in case I draw a Titan, and to bounce this fountain to my hand. That way I have another land drop, 2 more life, which then means I should have tapped Vestige, floated a green, played Karin, and that would have been able to play the Grazier and put the fountain into play. So I had another blocker and another 2 life, but I started making my play before I thought it out, and I mistapped. Alright, so they do what the deck does, just play a bunch of spells. Yep. So dumb. Just ignoring the... No, they send one at Karin, they don't ignore it, they kill it. And then the other 6 damage at me. Alright, so... Not a great draw. Really needed a Titan or a Pact. Not that I have the mana for it, but it's triple green, and I do not have the triple green. So I just play at the coding and play at a blocker, and leave this Mystic and then probably should Mystic that there. Been one less attacker. I mean, I had the mana open for it. Yeah. So that was an extra 4 damage I just took, but it really didn't matter because he still would have swung. I still need to draw something to get me out of that. He is down to no cards, so with the extra 4 life, I would have lived one more turn, been able to play the falls, and then next turn, if he didn't draw something really good, I could have Timberwatched. I don't know. Maybe I could have gotten out of that if I had played the Reflection, but it still would have been a tough, close game. So, game 2. We get to be on the draw this time, or on the play. Sideboard, I did the same as last time I played this deck. I mean, I played against it enough. I got my sideboard strategy against it pretty solid. Take out the Reflections, take out the Cavern, put in the removal spells, and the Rookthar. Good hand here. Again, kind of light on lands, no bounce lands, but it's not bad. Soul Scar Mage, again, not the Haster, which I have the blocker for, so. Alright, double Amulet, play those both out. And then I could play this bounce land and play the Dryad, but I decided to hold off, because this bounce land's 3 mana to play. And I'm not really wanting to put this in threat range right now, so yeah. I guess I could have blocked if I did that, but then he had the trick, so yeah, it wouldn't have been in my favor to block anyway. It's kind of worked out. So he kind of pumped the wrong one there. He could have pumped, he played 2 spells, so he could have just pumped the one that didn't get blocked, and the one that did get blocked would have. So he missed out on a couple of damage there. Alright, I drew a bounce land, so now I just play out this Vestige. And then I also play out Turf and play a second Dryad. So now I'm pretty safe here. He kills one, I still got one left. Plays a bunch of Metamorphosis, pretty good. So I chance it with one block here. If he has a removal spell, another free spell, you know, I lose my guy here, but it seems worth it because I still have the second Dryad, and he doesn't have it. Draw an Explorer. I have so much mana. And then I got it. I got the Titan. Finally. So, get to tap a bunch of mana, bounce it, play it again, tap a bunch of mana, bounce it. But this time I bounce the Vestige, because now I'm going to drop Titan. And then I have enough land drops left between the Explorer and 2 Dryads that I just go get another Titan here. So I get the Simic, flip the mana, bounce the Simic, replay it. And then, now that I have enough mana, I bounce west, transmute west. I probably could get another Titan from this Titan with the amount of land drops I have left and the triggers, but it's not really worth it. I can't give all 3 of them haste, and this is already overkill, so I just get the haste here, and then on attack I get Valacuts, and then second primeval attack I get more Valacuts, and I kill him before I even get to combat damage. So, yep, he isn't going to make me play it all out, and concedes there. Game 3, I'm now in the draw. I did not make any changes to sideboard. Risky hand, there's no payout. It's got a blocker. It potentially could have a payout if I get another blue, because then I can use this Teleria West, so I think it's worth it. He's got the turn 1 attacker when I'm on the draw with my turn 1 blocker. Another land, not what I want to see. I really want to use the payout spell here. He's got a good start. His mana's hurting a little bit, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not really going to deal damage to him until I kill him, so it doesn't matter how much he deals himself. I get a free block there. He didn't have the spell. Netherlands. Go ahead and just get this west out, so if I do draw the Simic Growth Chamber, I will be able to play the Simic Growth Chamber and bounce the west and transmute the west. Set myself up for a Titan the following turn. Another free block. He gets to light up the stage. He gets his 4th Islet, which again really painful on his mana base, but doesn't actually matter. He gets the Abrade here, so I will not be able to transmute this to Layer West for payout. I draw the Explorer. Without the Amulet anymore, I just want to get as many of these come and play tap lands as I can. So play that. Now I want, just to get the tap lands out. He's got another 1-drop. Bolts my Grazier. Puts me down to 9. I draw a payout finally. Draw the Titan. And then always a tough decision what to get. But I go with the gain 2. And he's got so many things that can deal 1 damage to a creature. It just doesn't seem worth it to get the token as a blocker. I just try to get the Simic Growth Chamber to set myself. If he does deal with this Titan, if he does Aether or whatever, or if I want to go get the Dryad to get the Valacut triggers, I go ahead and get the Simic Growth, so that the following turn I can play the Sanctuary to bounce the West and get the Pact. So I bounce the Fountain this turn. And then he plays another 1/1 Haster Prowess. And the Alpine Moon, which doesn't really matter. And I don't know why he chose Sun Home, but he took a long time to decide it. And it doesn't actually matter because he got Leaf on the board. Had I made the plant, depending on what his last card is, I might have lived the turn. But it wasn't worth the risk. He has too many things that could have killed it. And I lose. So 0-3 in this match, in this league. Not my best. This is the 4th match. If I lose this one, this would be the last match. No reason to play the 5th one. Alright, opening hand, 2 lands. Just overall bad. That could use a bounce land and be good, but without a bounce land, it's just bad. It doesn't do anything. So mulligan that. This is much better. Potentially turn to win. So put one of these forests on bottom. Start off with Amulet. Wooded Foothills, could be a few different decks. Play out the Amulet. Just plays a land for the turn, no value off of it. Okay, Stomping Grounds. And it looks like green-red Ponza or Land Destruction or some kind of deck that plays Blood Moon. Alright, so I started overthinking about how to play this Churnwood Symbiosis, and then realized the simple line of I already have the Pact, I can just play Titan. So, Pact for Titan, play Titan, and then I Pact here because he's not going to have any removal for his Titan, so I don't have to worry about him killing it and then turning around and Blood Mooning it. Or Blood Mooning me, so I go just for the full combo. He's taken 1 from the fetch land, so this combo swings for exactly 20, and he only can block 1 of it. So give Titan +4/+4. And it looks like it's glitched. See if it actually. Huh, that's quite interesting. So it didn't, clicking through there, it didn't show me getting a haste, which means that it didn't show it being able to attack, which meant it kept playing the turn as it would be. But I actually did win that previous turn. I did give it haste. It swung for 20. I got Vesuva and Sun Home to give it double strike. That's one of the things with using this program, especially the replay. It's got some glitches like that, but I think you get the gist without actually seeing the whole clicking through all the motions. So end up getting game 1 with the turn 3 double Amulet Titan. Game 2, I sided in the Wreck Stage, Beast Within, and the Braid, taking out Pact. I don't like Pact against a Blood Moon deck. It does reduce the amount of Titans I have, but it also backfires way too often, makes playing around Blood Moon more difficult. So I don't know if that's necessarily right, because it does also get Wreck Sage. I did keep the 1 in the deck so I can tutor it up, but I do like at least thinning the packs in the deck against Blood Moon. Good hand here. It's got the Forest, as I do get Blood Moons. It's got 2 Dryads, which are good if I can layer them correctly against the Blood Moon, which with the Forest I should be able to layer at least a second one against the Blood Moon well, and it's got the Amulet, so he's got a good start of Forest Arbor. Karn's not bad if I can get to the 4th land. Alright, he's got a pretty fast start here. He hits my Amulet. This hand wasn't actually that dependent on the Amulet, so that's not too bad. Just go ahead and play the Explorer into the west. And he goes Bloodbraid, luckily just into a Tokus Ball, so not too bad. He's ramping up pretty well, better than I am. Alright, go ahead and I'll drop the Dryad here. Dropping the Karn, he's got enough attackers. I don't have defenders for it, so I just want to play the creature, the defender. And he's got the Chandra. Kill it. Attack for 3. Alright, now I play out my second Dryad. I play my land first. So it does have a removal spell. At least I get the land drop. Gain 2 life back. And that's an interesting side in. I don't know if you side in the full combo with the thing that searches it up or not, but you never just hard casting it, so. And I draw the Amulet, so doesn't matter. Use a castle, play the Titan. I didn't pack to the Titan, so I'm not worried about Blood Moon here. Just gonna get Garrison, Strangleholds. Again, it's doing that glitch. It didn't actually show me give this haste, so it's not going to show the rest of this, but I end up attacking with the haste at prime time, triggering to get 2 Valakuts. Those 2 Valakuts each trigger each other for a total of 4 triggers, and then I use 3 of those triggers to kill the Platinum, and then I use the other trigger to kill the Chandra, and then let's see if they'll actually show his turn. He takes 8, goes to 9. Looks like it, no, okay, so That's weird too, because that's not actually what I guess I shuffled and took some cards out of the deck, so it changed what I actually drew. He ended up playing a Blood Moon, and then I just played a Karin, and I finished them off with the Karin. Yeah, I don't know why I did that for these two games in this match, but Karin got a Walking Ballista and finished him off with that, so that's about the gist of how the game went. On to the last one. Match 5. After the glitch last round, I went ahead and restarted the client, so hopefully it doesn't happen again. I run the die roll, so good to be on the play. Good starting hand here. Alright, so I could start on the turn wood and pay the 3 life and then go into Grazier, but I played against the blue-red deck enough. I really don't want to start off at 3 less life when I can just start with the Amulet and then go turn 2 Grazier. Marsh Flats into Temple Garden. Doesn't really tell me what they're playing. Into Noble. Still not clear what they're playing. Alright, Castle comes in tapped, but untaps. Then I get to explore into Mystic. Play the bounce land, untap it. I'm going to bounce itself. I'm going to play the Grazier to put it back into play. Floating the 2. Bouncing itself again. Getting out the Dryad though. So now, next turn I set up where I can play my land twice. 4 mana, 5, 6, 7. Bounce the Churnwood the second time I play it, and I can activate the Churnwood. He draws a field, and then he also has a Skyclave. So now he gets to Skyclave the Dryad. I don't know if that was worth it, if that was the right decision to do it over the Amulets. Because now I draw my Pact, and I have Titan mana. And then I finally actually get to display a game of what Mystic Reflection can actually do. So, tap my mana, almost tap it incorrectly, but fix it. So, tap the castle, bounce that for next turn, go and Pact for Titan, play the Titan. And instead of getting haste here, I go get Garden and a land that taps with blue. Make sure I put the Garden on the stack first, untap the 2 lands, and then with the Garden still on the stack, Mystic Reflection the Titan, Garden comes in as a Titan. Now I go get the haste land, I get a Wowie from my opponent. And he concedes. I guess turn 3, 2 Titans. Scary. Even if he has a Pact for 1, still so many lands, and I still have the Churnwood. Yeah, that was a good hand. Really displayed what Mystic Reflection can do. Alright, so game 1, I didn't get to see a whole lot of their deck because I killed them on turn 3, but I did see some kind of Skyclave value, probably Coco value kind of thing. So I took out one of the Karins, which just feels bad to get Skyclaved. And I put in Beast Within. And I cut a Cavern and put in the Abrade. Good. Okay, starting hand here. Hopefully my draws and explore can get me into something good. Goes Mash Flats into Temple Garden. He's also mulligan down to 5 this game. Marsh Flats into Temple Garden again. Into Stoneforge. Grabbing Batterskull. Not too scary when I have a Karn. I can take care of that pretty easily. Explore, grit the Grazier, play the land, play the Grazier, and then, yeah, I don't need the life that much, and I really don't want to accidentally expend this mine, so I just go and bring it back to my hand to get more uses out of it. Play my land first, just in case they have the path. I want to make sure I get the land drop. Play the Dryad, play the additional lands. And then I just play taps. There's no reason to really get this Zeus out there. There's no reason to chump block here. I'd rather save my chump blockers for the Karn to keep that alive. And I'm still at 22 life, so just take the 4, go to 18. And they play Elvish Evolution. Turn the Stoneforge into Apprentice. And they exile my Dryad. And again, they exile my Dryad, which doesn't actually stop me from the Titan. So I tap using the castle to make 6, but floating the extra colorless. Got my Titan, use the colorless, save 1 green left. I can't give it haste this turn, so just get some value lands. Kind of setting up here because I want to get Golos with this Karn and actually use Golos. So, also with him having Miria, Bog seems like a decent thing. I don't know that he's going to get up to that 7 planes, but I don't know what deck he's on. And then use that 1 green left, put the Grazier, put the Fountain in play. Go back up to 20. Another Evolution. I get a 3/3 illusion from the Skyclave in Acid Slime. I don't have that many good lands here for him to hit, so he just hits the Simic. Pay my Pact. And I don't really like this trade, but I'm gonna have to do this eventually to get rid of that Acid Slime. And I get 2 lands out of the process, so just get a bounce hand I can bring my Symbiote for another play, or to replay later. Get in for 4 trample. Prevent. I don't know if he can Eldritch Evolution this in something else. I mean, he's on top deck mode, but get Karn and then turn his Batterskull into a creature, which makes a token go away. He draws into Wall, and draws into... It seems weird to be playing 2 Emeria. I don't know what this deck is. There's only 4 playing. I guess if he's playing Dryad, he would almost be there for the amount of planes. Attacks the Karin. I go and protect the Karin with a Grazier. And then get a Titan. Pretty good symbiote there. And then, yeah, just don't even know what to get here, but he just concedes. He's on top deck mode. I've got Titan and a Karin. Karin's gonna start minusing to get stuff. So, end up getting that match, finishing this league 2-3. After reviewing, I think I made a lot of mistakes in some of the previous games. I could have won some of them. Some of them weren't necessarily mistakes, but in hindsight, if I would have done it the other way, I could have been able to win the game. So it's hard to really say. And got to see one game with Symbiote actually do something, or Mystic Reflection do something. It's an interesting card. I only got to actually use it twice. Once it got countered, the other time I got to do something really good. I don't know with that blue-red deck, as popular as it is, if it's worth it to play. I think if something from that deck gets hit with a ban, I could see playing Mystic Reflection more. But right now, I just don't know if it's worth it against the current meta. Hopefully you enjoyed watching, and I'll stream next time.